let's do it. I'm Black Hannibal, running through your capital on elephants. Civilize a savage with my elegance. Militant intelligence, run through your defense. Strike like a ninja, slice, cut, and injure. Leave no prisoners, just bodies on the battlefield. I'm Spartacus with a sword and shield. Something like a marksman with cold blue steel. War paint on my face, keep my identity concealed. Advance on your camp like dozens of killer ants. Snatch your king like chess, checkmate, this is death. While my team have fun with your queen. Throw your bishops off the roof, your knights flee the scene. I plant bombs in the home of your pawns. The detonation shook the foundation of your rooks. Holding shotguns with double barrels. They impact so hard when it blasts through your body travels. Yeah. Street Spartacus. Black Spartacus. Black Spartacus. Black Spartacus. Black Spartacus. Black Spartacus. Burn your flag as I overthrow your government. New politics, no Democrats and Republicans. Spiritual systems built by wise men who's true in living. The foundation's no longer Christian. Teaching universally the wisdom of the nations. New currency, no more dollar bills with white faces. No more Caucasian domination. All races participate in cultivating education. The people hungry and they ain't waiting. No more debating. Let's overthrow the haven to Satan. This whole world needs some new changes. Rulers with new faces. It's time to take out the racists. Spartacus from the new ages. From the page to the stage, pull a blade on the money changers. Spartacus from the new ages. From this page to the stage, pull a blade on the money changers. Peace, power, and prosperity. Rob Blackstorm is here. Without wasting anyone's time on this beautiful Sunday, I'd like to welcome you all here and my special guests, Monique Ruffin and Mel, Divine Feminine Works in the Moon. Momma, welcome back.
So happy to be here.
Peace, everyone.
Greetings. So, before we came on, Mel had this big jug of water, right? So, right now,
the size of my head.
Yeah, it's huge. It almost looks animated, like it's AI or something, how big it is compared to your head. Show it again.
Her face, it's like
it looks big from a different perspective, right?
Yeah.
So I thought that I was thinking, what's a great way to intro the show? Because we have a big jug of things happening with this solar eclipse, right? Yeah. It's like a big jug of, I've never seen so much fear, propaganda, and events surrounding a celestial event as such as this. I don't think since I've been alive, 2000 was a big thing with Y2K and things like that, but I think this solar eclipse would rival that. What do you guys think about all these things that are happening? CERN, NASA, CERN's supposed to be activated on the 8th, which is tomorrow. NASA is supposed to be launching 3 rockets called the PEP, ironically, towards Ra, the sun, so this towards the solar eclipse. Aleister Crowley's started his he started channeling a specific quote unquote demon called AWAS starting April 8th. Just a lot of there's a lot of things going on that particular day. Big jug of events. What do you guys think about all these things that are happening?
I don't pay attention to any of that, if I'm being honest. I'm not too knowledgeable of it, nor do I give it too much credence, in the sense that there's a lot of fear-mongering going on with this eclipse, and I don't necessarily understand why. I mean, obviously there must be some sort of agenda behind it, because the astrology of it, like, this happens all the time. Like, this is not an abnormal thing. So I think that it could be used as an excuse for some other hidden agendas or whatever, but this is just the natural, it's just business as usual, really. So I don't know. I don't know. That's just my take on it.
I think it's interesting. I think what's different, first of all, I hear the stuff. I'm not triggered by it. I realize that it's a there is a value to harvesting people's energy and getting people afraid. Like fear is an energetic thing and it works. You know what I mean? Getting people afraid really works. I also think it's funny though, because as I have done more and more work to connect um, to my spiritual self, I realize that anything that happens is because the spirit realm allows it. Like it's like we anything that we act is because it's been allowed. It's not because we have reached spirit has said, okay, like let them do that. You know what I mean?
Right.
And if there's anything learned, it's because spirit has said, allow this is time for this now. It's all the universe is perfect. That's what I'll say. It's perfect. And we are a part of it. And this thing, like them shooting the missiles at the sun, or what they're doing, they're shooting the missiles in the shadow of the eclipse, is what they're doing.
Right.
And to me, that just reminds me of the narrative in the Bible when uh, they tried to build a stair, like a temple that would go all the way to the heavens. It's kind of
Babel.
like that to me, right? The Temple of Babel, right? And okay, I mean, I think it's good that there's curiosity. I think it's good that we are exploring. I just think that the fear piece is too bad. It's too bad that we're not really thinking about this from a more advanced perspective, is what I would say.
Definitely, definitely. Yeah, it's crazy how much that they're spewing. Even with the earthquake here in New York, like people here are like, "Oh, it's the government and this and that," and it's like, yeah, we don't have earthquakes in New York all the time, but earthquakes have happened. Like I've been in New York and an earthquake has happened. Like it's
Mhm.
not like I always liken it to like that was like a way of shaking people up to the power of nature
Mhm.
and how you can't put your faith in what man is going to do. You have to understand that nature is more powerful. God is more powerful than
Right.
man could ever be. Spirit is more powerful than man could ever be.
Mhm.
So I feel like it was just a way of shaking people up to like, look, don't fall victim to the propaganda and the fear marketing tactics that are out there. Understand that nature is in charge, right?
Yeah.
Nature got spirit got this, like,
Mhm.
so you don't have to put so much stock into what people are saying is going to happen or can happen. Just stay in tune with nature and everything will be okay. So what do you guys now there's a lot going on with Aries this particular season. The sun is in Aries, the moon is in Aries during this new moon. Venus is in Aries, Mercury's in Aries. What is it about Aries that's so special during this time frame that we want to look at and possibly embody in order to transform during this particular time?
Courage is a big one, I think. Aries being the first sign of the zodiac and it being the initiator, the pioneer, that takes courage, that takes bravery, it takes motivation. Like Aries energy always reminds me of lighting a fire under someone's ass, right? Like it's that instant motivation, and it's also that animal instinct and impulsivity that you need to start things. So whereas I think a lot of people get this misconception, it's not a misconception. Aries does like to fight, right? Because it's ruled by Mars. Mars is the warrior, but it's so much more than that. Like imagine how much energy it takes to start something. Like even going back to the Bible, the power of creation is inherent in Aries energy. And with all of this planetary energy in the sign of Aries, it's like nature letting us know that, all right, now's the time to start something. Now is the time to really stand up, figure out your desires, because Aries has a lot to do with our desires also. So figure out what it is that you want and have the courage to actually go after it and have the courage to do it. And what I love about this particular Aries season is not just the concentration of Aries energy. The fact that we also have Pluto in Aquarius means that we're doing things completely differently. So whereas we get this initiation energy every Aries season, this one is a little different because of the placement of Pluto. And Pluto was all about transformation. And with Pluto being in Aquarius and Aquarius being future oriented, it's like we have our eyes to the future and we're thinking differently because our way of thinking, the way that we process things, our consciousness has elevated. So it's like it's a whole new world that's open to us this Aries season in particular, if you have the eyes to see it. Though that's the thing, there, as much as we have this energy of ascension and this new consciousness, it's not everyone's tapped into it. So a lot of people are just going to be repeating the same cycles, doing the same thing. But especially if you're watching this live right now, I assume you're not one of these people. So this is the time to really start something new and go in a completely different direction in a different sort of way. So it's really powerful time right now.
Mm,
Sure.
That's that's powerful.
Yeah.
I I love this setup because Aries has everything, and so it has Mercury and it has Mercury and Venus, the Sun and the Moon. It has Chiron. What Chiron is really the kicker here. That Chiron is a mix of this is no joke. But
Yeah.
Mars,
I was
ruler
gonna
of
tap into that next, so you beat me.
but
Yeah.
Mars, the ruler of Aries, is in Pisces with Saturn, conjunct Saturn, like right now. Right? So, woo, this is so good because Mars is our actual physical body. It's our body. It's like, so we really are, and Saturn is the cause and effect. So, it's like, what actions have you been taken in your subconscious realm, in your, to prepare yourself? Like, the thing that is important that we understand is that there is a creative process. And if you're going to be successful in the creative process, you have to follow it. And so it comes from what we desire externally has to come from inside of us. So we have to create it internally. You have to see yourself as this new person. You have to feel what that feels like. You have to begin to architect a new way of being inside of you, right? So if you want to be a business owner, you have to begin to think like a business owner. You have to begin, if you want to, you have to begin to think like a business owner and act like a business owner and make moves like a business owner and wake up like a business owner and take a bath like a business owner and shop like a business owner and eat like a business owner. Like, these are the things that we think is nothing, but this is everything. This is everything. This is, you know, it's a woman has a baby because that baby has gestated in her womb for 9 months. She built that child on the inside of her body before it came into the 3D reality. That is the creative process. It's internal to the external. So, whatever you have been focusing your energy on for the last 9 months, 2 years, that energy is what's coming into your experience now. Thing is that most of us are not intentional about that internal experience. And with Chiron here, we're being asked to become more aware of who we truly are in our own identity. Because most of us have been functioning in the wound. We've been functioning in wanting external validation, needing the external to shift before you feel safe. We've been believing that what other people say about us is true. We have been giving our power away to the, like, all of that is coming to an end. And this is what Chiron is. Chiron is saying, come back into yourself, like the ways that you have abandoned yourself, the ways that you have misused your power, misunderstood your energy. Come back and begin to really understand what it means to be a healer, to heal yourself. Like, really, you're just healing yourself. And that's what this Chiron energy is. But that, that Mars conjunct Saturn in Pisces is asking you to clear up your shame, clear up the guilt, clear up the, like, all of those things. The reason Generally, the reason we have shame and guilt is because some outside experience, something that happened that happened externally, and because you didn't trust yourself, right? So it's asking you to let go of the shame, let go of the guilt, let go of the fear, let go of, all of those external influences that have you put in a box, so that you can actually have the courage to be who you're really meant to be.
Right. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I say that's whew, powerful, powerful, powerful.
Mhm.
We have in a capitalistic society, the value has always been the material
Mm-hmm.
over the immaterial. So it's always about, like you said, what gives you external validation in order to feel good. Like you're looking to buy things, and you think about even if you buy something. Let's say you buy your dream car or something like that. Like the first week or so, you feel like that high, and then like by month's end, it's gone. Right? It doesn't last. You have to buy something else, or time pass, and
Mm-hmm.
that thing comes out becomes out of style or outdated, or there's new technology that's better than what you have. So
Right.
things are always changing. So if you're always looking for external validation, or for someone to tell you something is great or following trends, you're going to always be unhappy because
Yeah.
the game is for you not to be satisfied. The game is for you to feel insecure. And this particular transit, like you're saying with Venus and Aries, your love and your
Mm-hmm.
values, what is it that you really love? What is it that you're really passionate about? And what would you do for free? Because that's where your purpose lies, which is really part of your I am, which is what Aries symbolizes.
Mm-hmm.
And that warrior energy of Mars to fight for it, to have
Yeah.
courage, like you were saying, Mel, and to really go for being who you are and not worry about other people's judgments or other people's validation or feeling you don't have this in order so you can't do that. Like embody it. If you want to start a business, like you're saying, Mo,
Mm-hmm.
embody that. Have that vision in your head,
Mm-hmm.
especially tomorrow during the eclipse. Whatever you want to have or become, embody that. But figure out how you're going to get there. Okay, you want the big house, the mansion, the car, the helicopter, the Gucci, you know, living room set. How are
Mm-hmm.
you going to get there? And have a practical vision on what step you're going to take to serve to get there. And that's embodying who you truly are, really, and the Mercury aspect also of looking back at your past and how
Mm-hmm.
you communicated your ideals, how you communicating your visions. Are you setting up boundaries so that you are who you are and you're unapologetic about it? Like a lot of people are living for other people and are living not to be judged or criticized by other people. And this season, either you're going to have to make this move or people are going to really show you who you truly are. And it's going to lead to some unhappiness because you're not being who you truly are. And I think
Mhm.
I think it's a powerful time for us to really assess that. And another thing is that people are, it's funny seeing like spiritual people. Like I was like scrolling yesterday. I took like a break from online kind of, but just scrolling yesterday and seeing how many people with these like mystical magical names were just like, this is what the government's doing and this is what they're going to do to us and this is what they're going to try to do and this is going to happen. Then you have at the end of the week you have the Civil War story, so everybody's like, yeah, the lightning strike, the Statue of Liberty, and look, the Civil War, the Statue of Liberty thing, look, they're going to go to, and it's like people don't realize that we're creating that
Right. That's right.
through repetition. We create that reality by
That's
giving
right.
energy to it,
That's right.
by giving focus to it, because that is who we are. If we
Mm.
feel like this is going to happen, us collectively are going to create that reality. So I think it's interesting that if we really would say we have faith in God or believe in God or are one with God or are gods, that we understand that we have the power to create the reality that we want to see
Mhm.
individually and collectively. Um, let's get into
Mhm.
this full
Awesome.
moon in this new moon in Aries, and the eclipse. What any astrological feedback or tips, tricks, ways that we could embody this energy and use it?
So I will say that Based off the astrological configuration, it's definitely a time for new beginnings, obviously. But because I feel like Mercury retrograde is providing a really interesting element to this,
Mhm.
because what I've experienced and what I think a lot of other people have experienced is that you'll have old things come around and you look at them completely differently now.
Mhm.
So whereas before, I think that if, something from the past came back around, whether it's a job opportunity or a relationship or even a friendship, you would kind of have this disdain for it, right? Especially with the way people are conditioned to think about Mercury retrograde nowadays. But I feel like the things that are coming back around is sort of like it may have been something that was on hold for you in the past, right? A lot of times, what we want, we have to grow into the person that can have those things, right? And so it came around the first time to show you, like, hey, this is possible. Like, you can create this, but it's just not time yet. And I
Right.
feel like when it's coming back around right now, it's like it's time now because you're seeing things in a very different light. And perhaps in a light that is more in alignment with who you authentically are. So for it may come back around and you may decide, okay, this isn't for me anymore. I don't even know why I wanted this. Or you could be like, wow, like I finally get why this was delayed. Or I get the work, I understand the work I had to do on myself to sort of enjoy this thing now or have this thing in my life. And so at the same time, you have that, plus you have just like brand spanking new energy. Like the fact that there's again this huge concentration of Aries energy, it's literally the universe saying, all right, the slate is clean. So what are you gonna do now?
Mhm.
Where are you gonna go? Who do you want to
Yeah.
be? And now you have a better idea of yourself. You're seeing yourself more clearly, not even in hindsight, but at present. Like you're seeing yourself in your wholeness. And that's another that's a great facet of energy that I love about the new moon. It's the sun and the moon are conjunct. The sun is your outward expression, whereas the moon is your inward expression. When they're together, that's wholeness, right? That's a sense of self-awareness that we now have and that we can now start something new with. I don't
Mhm.
necessarily like people are so divided on should you manifest at the eclipse, if you big on your magic, it doesn't matter what time it is. Like to me, that's not necessarily the equation. Me personally, what I love about eclipses is that it kind of does the cleaning for you.
Mhm.
Right.
And so I just like to step back for a little bit and say, all right, universe, show me what you got for me. Like, what do I need to see? What do I need to understand? What do I need more clarity on? And then I can move from there. So it's
Mhm.
one of those situations where you kind of get to observe, even though it's technically a time of setting intentions and manifesting and going, because that's Aries energy too. Aries is like, let's go. Like it's real direct, right? But this is sort of the time to see what the universe is trying to help you create and then move from a place of advanced self-awareness.
Mhm. That's really great. I don't really have anything to add. I think I would highlight, that it's it's really a time to kind of slow down. You didn't use those words, but
Yeah.
Aries is very fiery, and there's a push to want to go. But because we're in an eclipse and because we're in a Mercury retrograde, it's really time to slow down and assess, where you really are. There's a lot of clearing happening right now because Chiron is in the space. So like in my life personally, I'm really letting go of my old identities. Like with Aries is about your identity. I'm really letting go of the identity of what it meant to be a mother and what it meant to be a best friend and what it meant to be like all these social conditionings and the social capital that I'm letting all of that stuff go because that stuff is holding me down from allowing me to be who I'm really here to be. Um, I'm letting go of my old definitions of things. And one of the things that I've seen in my life, and I feel like we all do it, is like I used to make decisions about what I could do based upon how much money I had. You hear people say all the time, well, when I have the money. What I'm aware of is that no, I'm going to embody it before the money is there. And that's what the universe is going to use as a signal that I'm ready to make sure that I have the money, right? So, really becoming an initiator. It's time for us to put on the hat of being the initiator in our reality. So, what is it that you want to create? Who do you want? You don't have to wait for the external world to to grant you an opportunity. That's not what's happening. You do it from within yourself. I think the greatest thing that is important in this in the world that we're moving into is that we really begin to learn that we are living from the inside out and not from the outside in. And
Excellent.
and that's the thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
I love
definitely.
that.
Definitely. That's powerful. A lot of people, even myself, like been extra sleepy lately.
Mhm.
Like you were talking about, Mel, dehydrated lately, like drinking a lot of water. And I think just a lot is being pulled from us, and we are being sort of, our DNA has been upgraded, if you will. It's changing, it's transforming, as above, so below. So if we're going through, and we had the lunar eclipse, like people forget we had a lunar eclipse already. So we're still in an eclipse window, and we've seen all these things that, have transpired, even this recent earthquake that's happening, this war in Israel and things like that, this red heifer that they're about to sacrifice to create a new temple. All these things that are happening are really about changes and transformations here on the planet, here in America. So we have to be willing to change as well. And that starts in the mind. It starts with a vision of what you have. And then you have to embody that particular feeling of what this new person is, and we'll
Mhm.
kind of walk through that, not where they say fake it till you make it, but act as if,
Yeah.
be as, don't see yourself in a position of lack or a position of losing, or in a position where you're not going to achieve your goals or you're not going to achieve your desires. No, feel that that is going to happen. Live as if that is going to happen. Live as if you're always protected. Live as if you're always abundant. Live as if you're spiritually powerful. Live as if you can overcome anything. And
Yes.
then slowly but surely, and especially during this time period, you have the quick fix to where you can actually feel that way.
Mhm.
Your body will start changing. Your mind will start changing. Your spirit will start changing and resonate different. It's like you have this clean slate, this tabula rasa, to put new thoughts, new ideas, new actions, and new behavior. And all you have to do is think it, write it, pray about it during this particular eclipse window. So I think, with all these things in Aries, it's signifying that if you're courageous enough to think a new thought and dream a new dream, we talk about roots, right? Or the root chakra, which deals with safety and security. In order to change, you have to pull up roots out of a garden, right? Out of the soil, or pull out the roots out of the new soul and create new roots in that soul.
Yes.
So the vision of a new beginning is the first step, but you have to believe in that vision, and that takes heart and that takes courage to
Yes.
believe in that vision and step in that vision. But now we have the sort of template to do that, and we just have to put our source code down, and create the new world that we want to see, and not buy into the world that they're telling us to see, or they're telling us that they're going to do, but what are we going to do, and how are we going to
Mhm.
transform during this time period. And we can change the world,
We
you know.
can. We are. We're
We
doing
can
it
change
right
the world
now.
right now.
We are.
Yeah, and we are.
It's and here's the thing about the red heifer. I've been saying for years, like, what they gonna do when they realize that all that stuff is just nothing. Like, it's nothing. Like, they're gonna kill the red cow. I hope they're gonna have some good ribs and you know,
Yeah,
'cause the temple, we are the temple. We are the
we are
temple.
the temple.
We are the
Yeah,
temple. The temple they're talking about building is us. Is us.
yeah,
And so
yeah.
that it's mind blowing. It's like we are the embodiment of Christ. We are the embodiment of the second coming. We are it. We are the Christ, right? So that's why I'm always like helping. My conversation is about helping melanated people to wake up to who they are, because
Right,
it's not about an ego thing. It's not about being better than anybody else. It's not about being chosen like we're special and they're not. If you see yourself as chosen, it means you have a responsibility to help this planet evolve. That's what being chosen is. It's, oh, I work for the creator. If I'm chosen, I work for the creator. And if you feel it, it's not here to be like, popping your ego and a whole lot of popping stuff. It's literally, you are a servant of the earth, and and the cosmos. And we're it. We are it. So when
To
they
be,
kill the heifer, we're gonna really start waking up rapidly. When they kill the heifer, when they sacrifice the heifer, we're about to watch Black Americans start having revolutionary awakenings because it's time. That's what the heifer is really gonna trigger. It's gonna trigger us.
yeah, they're doing our, like Kanye, like last year with Kanye, right, and Kyrie telling everybody the original Jews are melanated, original
Yes,
Jews are black, right?
yes,
So if that's the case, then any magic or any voodoo that they try to do, because that's really what they're trying to do, is
yes,
active
yes,
voodoo, animal sacrifice, right?
yes,
Of
yes.
Santeria, it's anything esoteric,
Mhm.
occult spirituality, you could call that, right? So whatever they try to do is only, like you said, going to awaken us up more and more. It's only gonna, like a heifer, that's Taurus,
Yes, yes,
that's Venus, that's love and values. So it's only
that's
gonna
right.
open us up more. So they're only doing our bidding for us and using our spiritual systems for us, which they don't realize.
Something, isn't that
Yeah.
amazing? Like, whoo, we about to start popping like popcorn, y'all. We about to, we about to watch. Oh, it's amazing to be alive right now. It's amazing.
Yeah,
I'm so excited.
yeah, and you got this comet too that's sailing right now
Yes.
over the globe. It's like
Mm-hmm.
there's all sorts of celestial cosmic powers. I think a lot of people are going to tap into their superpowers like shortly after it. Their spiritual psychic abilities are going to come online and
Yeah.
activate. And if this is something you want, you also have a vision of that too during the
Yeah.
eclipse. Like I believe, and I've said this in my videos, like you should write down or have some sort of script on what you want to manifest and what you want to create.
Right. And read it every
So that,
day. Read it several
yeah,
times a day. Read it
yeah,
several times.
and especially tomorrow, like
Yeah.
during that little, yeah, during that hour window, like
Yes.
yeah, everybody's waiting for the whole full eclipse if you're in that range, but if you're not, or even if you're at work or whatever, just think those thoughts, like have that script, have that vision, even draw it, like draw it out with stick figures. You
Mhm.
don't have to be the best artist, but draw out what that vision looks like so you could have it to bring into that particular memorial space. Because if they're doing rituals, this is the thing, right? If they're doing rituals and they're planning and plotting, that means we have to be doing rituals and planning and
Mhm.
plotting as well. To be
Yes.
spiritual does not mean that you don't go to war. Like
Mhm.
most of the early Bible stories, even beyond,
You
are
probably
about
go to
warfare.
war more when you're
Yeah,
spiritual. Like you have to.
it's a crown of thorns you put on. You know,
Yes.
it's a burden
Yeah.
to serve, and when people don't understand you and misunderstand, and the things you have to go through, the sacrifices you have to make, the discipline you have to enact in order to get your spiritual gifts, it is an act of warfare against people that don't agree with you, against the Agent Smiths in the Matrix, right? And like they said, the Matrix, everybody's plugged in. People who do not live in this lifestyle, they're plugged in, so they are going to turn into your enemies. I never
Mhm.
forget 2020 when people were like, people who weren't unvaccinated shouldn't go to the grocery stores, shouldn't be able to go to the hospital. These were people that were Christian. These were prayerful people. These were good people, right? But they got plugged. They turned into Agent Smiths real quick.
Mhm.
you know, when the government laid down these mandates and there was a fear of death, right? They turned to Agent Smiths real quick. So people that are not plugged in are not plugged in, and you have to just let them be not plugged in. You can't try to save them. You can't try to resurrect them. If they want to be resurrected, everything is out here. The information is out here. And your example will be enough for them to want to be resurrected if they want to learn and study and understand their true purpose in life. And but now is really a time, like you said, especially this Aries season and this eclipse window, is for us to shift our awareness to what's best for us and what
Mhm.
gifts do we bring to the world and what energy are we bringing to the world and
Mhm.
what light are we shining onto the world, because that's what's going to change the world, not all black people waking up or all
Mhm.
Native Americans or
Mhm.
whatever. It's going to be how we impact the world and
Yeah.
as individuals.
Yes.
Right. And the other thing about Aries energy and this concentration of Aries energy is understanding the role of war, understanding the role of adversaries. These are necessary. There
Mhm.
are going to be people, it's not your job to save anybody, number one. Number
Mhm.
two, there are people who are here to be Agent Smiths. That is their job in this lifetime, to sharpen you.
Mhm.
Iron sharpens iron. So
Mhm.
don't, Aries energy is all about not shying away from confrontation, not shying away from telling people who you are, what you do, what you believe. Like, it breeds conflict, but conflict is necessary because conflict weeds out things. It
Mhm.
cleanses. I was
Yes.
just thinking about how some farmers at the end of a crop season, they will set fire to the field
Yes. That's right.
to purify it and then turn over the soil so they can grow new, healthier crops. And
Mhm.
you'll have a whole bunch of people tell you, "Oh, don't burn bridges or whatever." Some bridges you need to burn. Some
Somebody.
bridges you need to fucking throw a grenade to, right? Because it's necessary. War is necessary. Bad blood is necessary. You just have to arm yourself with the tools and the skills to be the victor. The
Mm.
problem with religion or anything else is that it tells you to shy away from that. So
Yeah.
you remain undeveloped.
Yeah.
You remain in the barracks not doing shit, right?
Right.
However, it's wartime
Yeah.
and only the best sailors are made during storms, right? Like that's, like I said, iron sharpens iron. So if you find that this season or this time with all this Aries concentrated energy, it's hard, it's difficult, you fighting people, people aren't listening to you, that's by design. Like, this is
Yeah.
to get you to wake the fuck up and be like, no, this is who I am. Take it or leave it. This is what I want. I don't care if you don't want it for me, but this is what I want to do. Like, that
Mhm.
is the purpose of this energy. So don't shy
Right.
away from any of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
It helps you build your character. The
Mhm.
resistance builds muscle, builds character, builds strength, builds clarity. It's it's that what you're just talking about is one of the greatest lessons I learned when I was married, because my marriage felt so adversarial, but I understood that we just had different perspectives, so it felt like war all the time,
Mm,
because I didn't know how to really be in my own perspective and not shrink to his perspective, right? And so I would be, but when I started to appreciate it, when I started to realize, like, oh, this is actually metal sharpening metal.
Yeah.
And once I got that, I started to realize, like, oh, it's really important for me to understand my perspective. It's important for me to trust what I feel, even though what I feel is different than what he feels and what he is thinking, right? So, that landed us in a divorce, but that's okay, because what came out of it was I developed my sense of self because of his capacity, his ability to sharpen me.
Mhm.
mhm.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
Aries.
Hmm.
Yeah, very, very much so. Very much so. And you need that, no
Yeah.
challenge, no spiritual power. Like, you
Yeah.
have to go through challenges to grow. You have to
Hmm.
learn sometimes that the stove is hot, and
Hmm.
sometimes, your mama could tell you, people could tell you, but until you touch that stove, you know it's hot, and okay,
Hmm.
this is not something I should be doing, and I should be moving in a different direction, doing things different and acting different and
Hmm.
behaving different, and sometimes it takes you going through that fire, going through these challenges, like Chiron, the ruled and healer, that aspect of, your past self and the things that you've been comfortable doing and been living in a comfort zone doing and
Hmm.
behaving and acting as. How are you going to now move in this different way, in this different light, right? And often it takes some sort of trauma in order to shake you up, like the earthquake, right? Oh snap, God's in control. Like, I'm not in control. It doesn't matter how much money I have, the ground is shaking under me. There's nothing I can do about it. Like, that's the
Hmm.
realization that brought me. Like, we think about, we need all these things and we have to have all these things, and I'm looking around, just the devices and the gadgets and the material things that we have, and it's like, at the end of the day, like, you want to be in the highest vibration you could be if you're going to die. If there's going to be a civil war, if the world is going to end, right? If there's going to be nukes shot back and forth, you still want to be in the highest vibration that you could be while you're alive, so that you could ascend to the highest heights, right? When you transition, so you could be at the highest frequency, so you could meet the most high, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're in a low vibration, a fearful vibration, a negative vibration, you might not even be able to fly high enough to elevate past this planet,
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
past the different layers, and you
Right.
become a ghost or spirit being stuck here on Earth, right? Or
Mm.
and worse, come back reincarnate again. So it's always best to be in a high vibration, high frequency, high vision of yourself as you go through
Mm-hmm.
life, and that's part of activating the I am. You know, those horns, right? Those horns are like the left and right hemisphere of the brain being activated,
Mm.
and you know, I think it's a privileged time. I think
Mm-hmm.
tomorrow is a privileged time. It's a holy day. It's a holy day, and it should be observed as a holy day. So if you're a prayer warrior, get your prayers in. If you're a writer, write. If you're a song creator, create something. Everything that's high vibrational you want to do during that time period, wherever it is in your state, you want to tap into that particular hour or so, so you can really, really take advantage of it.
Did he break up? He gone now.
Any
Mhm. There you
any
Okay.
back, ladies, about this eclipse from an
Okay.
astrological perspective.
Okay, I wanted to say something that you were just saying. Now, I wanted to add on to that. It was so powerful. You were talking about, you said something like, you can get stuck here. You can get stuck in this realm and in this dimension. One of the things that I have been really doing research on is what does it really take to not come back to the earth realm again? Right? Like we literally do that energy over. Like you can do this thousands and thousands and thousands. You can do this countless times. And the way to get out of this system is by lightening your heart. You
Mm.
really have to lighten. You have to get light. You have to become. You have to lighten your heart in your body. You have to bring your light body into your physical body, so that your when you die, your light body is light enough to actually be able to lift up through and get out of the system. Like, and
Mm.
that's really interesting. So I just wanted to say that because it's so powerful what you were saying. And I think it's important for us to really realize that there's something here that's going on. And if we want to ascend out of it, there we it's our responsibility. And it's the foods you eat. It's the and everybody's diet is different. Everybody is not supposed to be a vegetarian. Everybody is not supposed to eat meat. You have to align to your body and what your body needs for you to ascend. This has been a really profound experience. When I first started doing this work, I had two polarity shifts where the energy in my body, the poles shifted two times, and I was like, what is going on? Like I had no idea, but that's when my Kundalini awakening was starting. And I had to change my diet. I had to let go of people. I had to let go of ways of being, belief systems, all that sort of stuff. And it is the most rigorous work I have ever done in my life. Like I'm constantly doing it, and it's very interesting. So I just wanted to add to that because I don't feel like we have that conversation a lot, and it's necessary if you don't want to be stuck in the in the earth realm experience.
Right.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's true. That's powerful. It's
Yeah.
like a time where you're gonna see the earth turn dark. You know, with the moonlight and a circle around the sun. Like it's a portal.
Hmm.
It's literally a portal that's opened up, and that portal can be used for whatever you want it to be used for. It's almost like a gift. I remember the 2017 eclipse. Like shortly after that eclipse, like that's when I had my first Kundalini awakening.
Hmm.
Where I started feeling that fire inside of my body, and just a opening up, to different psychic powers, being able to read things, and it was just at like a just a high power, the best way I could explain it. And I think this particular, when you deal with darkness, you're dealing with source energy, mother energy, right? but light is information. But the source of all light is darkness. The source of all thoughts is that blank slate of darkness, right? So it is that womb energy, that creative energy that brings information in. So darkness is actually what projects light. It's and light is a reflector, but darkness is an absorber. So darkness actually projects light. So when you see this particular eclipse, it's really the union of both. It's a marriage of masculine energy and feminine energy, right? The darkness in the daytime. It's the ultimate marriage, right? With a symbol like a bat signal, if you will, right, of the spirit world. So it's really, really, really very important that we don't buy into what the news is saying. We don't buy into what society is telling us. We don't buy into what they are doing. If they're doing rituals, you do rituals. If you feel like they're doing rituals during the eclipse, light your candles, go to your altars, go to your crystals, get in your meditation bag. Like, don't let them plan and do all the rituals and you just sit there in fear. You're a victim. That's not Aries energy. That's not warrior energy. That's not Mars energy. That's not tapping into your own internal fire. You have to be positioned in the war as a soldier of the Lord, if you will. But you got to soldier on. You got to be part of the army, right? Because there's going to be other parts of the army that are doing their own thing to get at you. So why not join the army, right? That is for you and for your best interest by simply just putting your best ideals, your most high self out into the universe during that time period, along with others. Like, this is not even the time to shame people of different religions. That's why I say, if you're a prayer warrior, get in your prayer bag. Like, pray to Jesus as much as you want. Like, pray for light, pray for blessings, for yourself, your family, and others, right? Meditate on it, go to your altars, but don't think fearful. Don't think the worst is going to happen. That's not the energy you want to put out into the universe. Because there's people that's already plotting to use that energy for you.
Very much so.
Right. So they are going to be doing their rituals. That's what they were supposed to do. But you're supposed to too. And the biggest secret is that the collective consciousness rules. As long as it's about elevating and making the earth better, that's what the earth wants. That's what Mother Earth wants, or Daughter Earth wants. It's for it to grow and expand and become better. But it needs us to co-create with it.
Yes.
So yeah, it's a very, 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 very powerful time. It's not something that we want to look at, from a perspective of where we're not winning. And that's the main thing. And anybody that's teaching you or telling you that you're not going to win during this time, or trying to coming under the guise of awareness by really spitting fear, you want to get away from those people, because they're not meaning you well in real life. They don't want to see you succeed in real life. They're just trying to keep you in fear so that they can control you. But this is a no fear zone. This is an Aries season, especially, is a no fear zone. So you want to activate whatever you need to activate and transform by taking and implementing whatever new plans that you need to implement. But now is the time where it will be easier. It won't be so much resistance.
Right.
You're trying to get over certain habits, or overcome certain addictions, or get away from a relationship that's not good, or start a new career path. Like, now is the time where the energy is here to galvanize you and make the path easier. Where at other times it'll be more difficult. It'll take more work, but your spirit is ready now. It's prime. It's spring, so everything is rising. Everything is growing. So shall you. As above, so below.
Yes.
So yeah,
I do think there will be. So when you ask for courage, you're usually put in a situation that elicits fear. You know what I mean? So it's like, I think that fear is going to be a thing right now. However, you have to know how to use it and what the purpose of it is. Like, all of these rituals that they're doing, all of this fear mongering, it is serving a much higher purpose than what you think it is. Yes, it's them holding on to their agenda, doing whatever they're doing. That doesn't really have anything to do with us. It's like, listen, like I said before, iron sharpens iron. You build courage like a muscle, right? That's why Aries is physical, it's strength training, it's physical labor, because you have to keep doing it. You have to keep exercising. You have to build up your stamina in order to be strong. And
Yeah.
so, especially with the eclipse and the conjunction to Chiron is exact to the
Yes.
solar arc of the minute. It is
Yes.
exact. And
Yes.
so this is like your shit is gonna come up. So
Mm-hmm.
if you've been doing the work, you're whatever comes up, you're gonna recognize it, right? Because you have that awareness. But for some people, their fears are gonna hit them straight in the face. Their
Yes.
insecurities are gonna hit them straight in the face. Anything
Mhm.
that they have that is holding them back from being themselves is gonna hit them straight in the face. And that can be scary, especially when you're not aware or conscious, right? You're just like, oh my gosh, why is this happening to me? My life is falling apart. And I think that's why, especially the ancients were so fearful of eclipses because the energy, it literally rips your wig off.
Hmm.
But you've been conditioned to think that that's a bad thing. Well,
Mhm.
no, maybe you need to get your wig ripped off. You had your hair has been matted all under there. Your scalp hasn't been able to breathe. Like you need that. You need the fear. You need the resistance. You need the adversity.
Yeah.
That's how Aries shines. Aries isn't just come out the gate courageous. Aries fought for that shit.
Yes.
Aries fights for it. Aries continuously builds that muscle.
That's right.
And that's why I love that Chiron is in this because you are going to have ample, and I mean ample opportunity to do that.
Asha.
And it's important to understand that eclipse energy, it's like a mini series. It plays out over time. So I think you don't necessarily need to expect something cataclysmic to happen tomorrow.
Mhm.
It could
Right.
happen 3 months from now. It
That's
could
right.
Right.
it's starting the wave. The
That's
wave is
right.
starting to build. And
That's
so
right.
with you got to keep that same energy, right?
Yeah.
Aries is like, listen, we're doing this big right now, but 6 months
Mhm.
from now, I need you to face your fear the same way you did today. I
Yes.
need you to work at this thing the same exact way. And Taurus is going to help us with that because Taurus is like, all right, let's get to work. We got to build this foundation. So when Taurus season comes, it's not going to be as energetic and as, popping as Aries, but that's when you literally solidify the foundation. You figure out what you need to do and you just keep doing it and you keep showing up and you
Mm.
keep fighting and you keep strengthening, right? So it's I agree with what you're saying that yes, this is a no fear zone because yes, Aries is fearless, but Aries is fearless because it has conquered fear time and time again. So
That's right.
that's what we need to do right now.
That's right. That's right.
Excellent. Excellent. Yeah. They
Mm.
say power is not given. Power is something that has to be taken.
That's right.
No one gives you anything. You have to take it. You have to fight for it.
Mhm. That's why I love being in a black body this lifetime. I
Mm,
love that I have spent 55 years dealing with opposition after opposition after opposition in this American system. I love it. I am a warrior because I was born in a black body. And I feel like all of us are warriors. I don't know.
yeah.
And once I stopped complaining about it, once I stopped being like white people, and don't get me wrong, I see it. I'm not, but
Right.
once I started to realize like, oh, this is actually a gift. The universe has given me a natural opponent. This whole system is designed to make me into a god. Once I saw that shit, I was like, oh, okay. And when I tell you, I experience myself as a god in this realm. I really do. I watch reality just collapse for me. I watch things just get out of the way. I literally am having the experience of being able to say to the mountain, be thee removed, and it will move. I experience it all the time because I recognize that the opponent is actually serving me.
Yeah. It's your reflection.
That's right. That's right. When
Mhm.
I recently, I was really working, like I couldn't access something. I couldn't access it. And I realized, so in 2017, I voted for Trump, but I voted for Trump in a, like on the go. Like I didn't mean to vote for Trump. I wasn't planning to vote for Trump. I
Right.
literally got into the booth and my spirit was like, vote for Trump. And I was like, ah, what do you, and spirit was like, face your fear. Face your fear.
Mm,
Don't run from
that's deep.
it. Face it. Like look at it head on. So
Right.
I did it and I came home and I laid down. And the next one, and then I went to like an election party and all that kind of stuff. And I don't vote anymore. Like that was the last time I ever voted. It was like having
Right.
one baby and being like, I ain't doing that shit no more. Right. but I once I came home and I literally watched my whole reality go into sadness and depression because nobody wanted to face their fear. Everybody was afraid of what Trump meant. But I had this energy. I was like, oh shit, like, oh, I
Yeah.
did something. I had this energy and I was completely free of all of the stuff. And my life started to get better and better and better because I no longer was holding that there was a white male boogeyman out there that was coming for my life. I let it go in that vote. And so um, we powerful, y'all. We just got to
Yeah.
know it.
Yeah, the whole Trump thing. I remember when he was in office and everybody, or the first day when,
Mhm.
when everybody was shocked that he was president and how there was so much, sadness. But I always feel like Trump was the truth. And the
Mhm.
truth, not as far as he's a truth teller, but
Right.
he's the truth of what America really
Need
is.
it. That's
American
right.
presidency
Lucifer.
is.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's exactly what Lucifer does.
yeah,
And people think that that's a bad thing. It's not.
That's
Iron
right.
sharpens iron. You will
yeah.
understand that you will become a worthy adversary to Lucifer. And I don't mean that in any sort of weird, sort of demonic sort of way, but anything that can be thrown at you, you can take. You can handle. You can transmute actually to
Hmm.
whatever it is that you
I
want.
need a minute. I'll be right back, you all.
Okay.
Okay, go.
Yeah, but yeah, no, go ahead, Mel.
Oh no, that was it.
Yeah, no, yeah, because you can transmute it all, and and Trump would always tell you like, this is how he really feels, and this is what he plans on doing, and people's like, oh, he's the worst president, and the only difference between him and Biden is Biden's going to stab you in the back, Trump's going to
With a
stab you in the
smile.
face. Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
And
that's
Biden
it.
won't remember. He'd be like, oh,
Exactly.
I didn't know what was going on today.
Right, right.
I always say, like, and at this point, I'm not like pro anybody.
Me either.
Everybody is
Right,
on some bullshit. But do
right.
you notice, like, I feel like some days they pull back Biden's face a little more so he looks like a little more fresh. Like other days
Hmm.
they let him look like droopy dog, and then some
Right.
days it's just like they pull his face back, and it's like, whoa, he has
Yeah.
something serious to say today because they pulled his face back enough so that he's looking a little fresher.
Right. Yeah, he doesn't look like he's a step towards that. But
Right.
yeah, but and even that, like the presidency that's going to happen this year, like that's going to be very impactful. And I was talking about, these new laws that they're trying to put into, like, we're going to have to become people that are going to be more responsible for what's going on. Civics, even in civics, like I see that's going to be the next frontier because they're trying to start like these little laws and that are little minor things. Like they have this law in Texas where if you look like you're an immigrant, they could
All
stop you
right. Yeah.
and arrest you just for looking like no, that's
It's like
literally the law. Just for
that's the
looking.
whole state though. Like
Yeah,
like everyone here is an immigrant.
everybody here is an immigrant.
Like that's
So how
crazy.
you what are you doing? Like that's next step is what slavery. Like
Mm.
that's where it's going. They have this law in DC too that they
They
just
can't even
passed.
go there. It's over with. Like they don't understand that they can't. It's like they're attempting to hold the human evolutionary experience, which is
Hmm.
nature, and you can't. You can't beat nature. That shit is over with. It like
Right.
I feel like the reason that have you seen like Putin came out and said that Jesus is black,
Mhm.
Like so what?
right? But the reason they're doing
Yeah.
that
I
is
mean, I hate to
because
say it, but
they
I saw
need
that. I was
because
like, so
black
what?
people like people don't understand the value of melanin. That's like I don't want to make us because the ego can get in this idea that we're special and that's not what I'm trying to say. Melanin is a real thing and we are awakening now. And here's how do you control somebody who can see something happen in their imagination and create it? What you gonna do? Right?
Right.
You cannot impose your laws on people who are evolved into a cycle of nature that is the golden age. It cannot be stopped. I don't care what laws you create. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If I can blink my eyes and make your heart stop, if I can envision that you are, have an illness inside of you and it's going to come into manifestation in 6 months and you're going to die. If I can do that, what can you do to me?
Right. I have a funny story
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
That actually happened. I was in high school and I
Mhm.
had this trigonometry teacher, Brother Stephen, because I went to Catholic school. I hated him. I hated him so much. He was mean and he was very misogynistic, right?
Mhm.
And I said, we were at lunch one day and I was like, yo, I really wish this dude would die. Like, this is just, I can't take this. Girl, 2 days later, he dropped dead.
Yes.
2 days later. And I cried. I was like, oh my God.
He's like, I kill father.
I want you to wish some shit for me, right? That's what Harriet Tubman did. Harriet Tubman, the slave owner wouldn't let them go, and she wished that he died, and he died. Like, we
Yeah.
have to understand what our power is, and if we don't talk about it and talk about our gifts and how it works, then we won't all get it, because there's this idea that that's silly or that's wrong or you can't do that. Or, I have this friend that said that when he was a little boy, he used to try to really move figurines with his mind. And because it didn't work, he became a lawyer. Well,
Mm.
it's working now though. Like, if you like, that power just wasn't available to you then. Like, when we have that kind of power, we need to mature and grow up so that we don't misuse that power.
It's
Right.
the flow of
So
nature. Yeah, being in the
Mhm.
flow of nature.
That's right.
Doing things at the right time for the best success, planting seeds in fertile soil, so to
That's
speak.
right.
Right.
That's right. That's
So
right.
you're not just flipping cars on people and killing people for no reason.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
There may be times where you do have to exercise the destructive
Right.
nature of your gifts,
Yeah.
right? Like, that's balance. That's why that's how this earth is built. However, like you said, you have to mature into these things. And I
Yeah.
love that so many of us are doing that right now, and that we're figuring out who we are, what we possess, what we're able to do with it.
Right.
So you're right. Those laws, I mean, they will try. Like
That's
Mo said, they will try. They will try tooth and nail to hold on to whatever semblance of power they think that they still have, not even realizing that that power doesn't come from you. It doesn't come
Yeah.
from this 3D earth. You're tapping into the wrong thing.
Yeah.
So
right.
of course it's not
Exactly.
gonna last. It's not gonna
Right.
last.
They're
So
gonna try, and we have to be willing to be the vanguards, like I said, and be the soldiers. They're gonna
Mhm.
try their best, but the more we wake up, the better we'll be. And this is why they demonize African spirituality and African spiritual technology and religions, so forth, the occult and all these things, because they don't want you to know that you can do certain things with candles and
That's right.
herbs and your
That's
thoughts and
right.
ideas. And that during certain times and certain events, during certain windows like this, that you could use this to create and change and transform. No,
Mhm.
they don't want you to know that. They want you to know about CERN. They want you to know about NASA, but they're not going to demonize them. They're not going to say they're evil, but
Mhm.
they're going to say that you are evil for practicing your traditional religions. And
Right.
that's the magic they're really scared of us tapping in. Like you were saying, Mo, it's tapping into that melanin within and activating our spiritual powers for
Yeah.
real.
For
And
real.
activating
For
that
real.
cosmic body. Yeah.
They are
And
so
you
real. These powers are so real. It's so important for us to talk about our gifts and powers and how they function and how they work.
Mhm.
And it's like I have it happen constantly. Like, I can, like, the spirit will tell me this is going to happen, and then it happens, or do this and change it, and then something else happens in the three. Like, it is. It blows my mind every single time. I'm like, oh my God, like, the reality is truly responding to me. Like, shit, did that just happen? Fuck, it did. Like, it's a real thing. And so the more we practice, the more we trust, the more it doesn't matter. Like, literally, it's and the way I do it for myself is I remind myself each and every day that I am creating the reality, that I am the creator in the reality. So everything that's happening is coming from me. I might not think it's coming from me, but it has to be, because it's in my field. So if it's in my
and it may
field,
be difficult too.
you said it might be difficult.
It may be
Absolutely.
difficult too. Yeah.
That's right.
it
But it's in
usually
my
is.
field. Like, I have had, like, things around, like, mastering, like, how to be in this system. Like, one of my things is taxes. Like, I cannot Like the fact that we built this country and we're still paying taxes doesn't make any sense to me. It makes no sense to me at all. That there hasn't been a so, but what I know is that the universe keeps the score. So I don't need them to repay me. The universe will repay me through my like so I think about it that way. I ask the universe, well, how where's this repayment going to come from? How does this energy get reconciled? How do I like I ask because I know that I don't have to wait on any external forces to generate the reality that I'm capable of doing. So I'm constant, and I when I tell y'all I do all sorts of magic around it. Uh, Recently they called me saying, "Well, if you like, we're if you like just talk to us and we will um like suspend your taxes." Of course you're going to suspend them because I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not interested in this thing anymore because I'm creating something else. And the more I can see it and hold to it, it will manifest if I'm
Yeah.
not in fear or doubt. And you know what I mean? Like it totally will come. And so I just am watching. Because I'm like, that's not my truth. I'm not going to be a slave to a system that doesn't benefit me.
Yeah. Yeah. Whatever you focus on expands, you
That's
know?
right.
Whatever you focus on expands. So if you're focusing on the negative, you're focusing on being cynical, you're focusing on what they're doing, you're focusing on what
Mm-hmm.
other people are doing, the celebrities, then you're going to get what they're getting.
Yes,
You're going to
that's
get
right.
that vibration. You're going to get that energy. It's going to resonate throughout your life. But if you're focusing on your success, you're focusing on your triumph, you're focusing on the success of your family and the greatness that's within you, and tap into your own gifts and your own powers and your own talents and nurturing those, and looking at even what you're not good at and understanding of the value of that, and how that's meant for you to focus on what you are good at, understanding the polarity within you and being at peace with it. A lot of people are not at peace with who they are. They want to be someone else. They want to live someone else's lifestyle. And you have to love yours, in the words of J. Cole. Like, you got to love yours. You got to love what you have in the here and now. You got to be grateful for what you have in the here and now in order to bring more gratitude in and bring more things to be grateful for. But if you're focused on someone's tragedy or a future tragedy that's about to happen,
Mm-hmm.
and how can you stay in that light of gratitude in order to be that magnetic force that brings in more things to be grateful for and more things to love and more things to be joyous about and more things to be passionate about, et cetera, and more experiences and more money to help you experience more of those things, all those things are aligned. Even your finances, it's aligned to how you feel and how abundant you truly feel, and that'll bring more. This is why the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. It's mostly because of a mindset and a mind state that they constantly carry and what they're invested in and what they're focusing on. You know,
Yeah, it's their belief. If you've always had money, you would not have a belief that you don't have money. So
exactly.
money will always come to you. It just feels harder when you don't have money because you have to cultivate that belief. But the
Hmm.
key word is cultivate. Like everything, we are powerful, we are magical, but that magic has to be cultivated. It's
Hmm.
not just boop, this is it, boop, this is it, especially if you haven't used your magic yet. Like you have to cultivate these things, and it starts on the inside, like most says, and it starts in your mind, like understanding that you've been conditioned to believe a lot of things that just aren't true and that are not set up for your success. They're a lot of what you believe to be beneficial to you really isn't. And it's even more well, it's even less beneficial because you don't even know who you are anyway. Like you don't
Mm-hmm.
Right.
know who you are, you don't know what you want, you're afraid of your shadow side. You've been
Mm-hmm.
shamed, guilted into thinking that you're such a horrible person because this happened or that happened. So you never see, it's like always looking in a cloudy mirror and wondering why you never get a clear reflection, or why things always look so wonky in your life. It's because you need to clean up that mirror, and that
Stop
takes
it, Offset. I'm
that
sorry.
takes effort. It takes cultivation. Like healing never stops. The
Mm-hmm.
inner work never stops. Luckily, the way that nature is set up, there's different parts of it that you focus on at different times, depending on what the sun is, where the moon is, what the planets are doing, whatever. but that shit never stops.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like you wake up one day, you're like, "Ah, I'm healed, I'm magical, I'm spiritual, blah, 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 blah. This is it. And I'm not, let me say this. Let me not put out that limiting belief because it could happen. I will say that. However, because of the dense reality that we live in, it has to be cultivated, right? So you got to keep doing the work. You got
Yeah,
to the right mindset. You have to keep doing the inner work. You got to keep doing your magic. You have to keep doing your shadow work. Like that is continuous.
yeah. This is a good movie too. Henry Sugar. I think it's the story or the Adventures of Henry Sugar on Netflix. Um, Dreamwise put me onto it, which is what Ultra Instinct's talking about. But it's a movie. I'm not going to spoil the ending, but it's a short film. It's like maybe 30 minutes. But it's basically about the power of a man whose focus and intention caused him to see beyond the physical. And it's based on a true story. And how it's told is you could tell that it's based on a true story and the things he was able to do once he learned how to control his focus and how he learned how to basically control his light wave, turn waves into particles, quantum physics. And that's all focus is. That's what attention is. Like all marketers if you're marketing something or you have a business, you want it to get in the eyes of the most of as many people as you can because that's what's going to lead to you making the most money by having more eyes on your product than your competition. So attention is always going to bring currency. It's always going to bring power. It's always going to bring a particular vibration towards you if you are in that wave or that frequency to materialize it. Because it's all about light and sound at the end of the day. Magic is all about manipulating light and sound, which in turn turns things to matter. Mind moves matter. Anything that's been created by humans has been because come from someone's imagination,
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
someone thinking about it, someone dwelling on it, someone pondering it, someone bringing light to it. So the power of our imagination is really a gift, and it's something that I think, well, not I think I know this is what the so-called elite and the powers that be strive to control as much as possible. What
Our
you're imagining.
imaginations. That's
Yep.
right. What you're imagining, which is why all the movies are filled with fear. One of the
Mm-hmm.
things that I noticed when I watched I'm like, every movie is like, somebody's coming to get me. Something is
Yeah.
wrong. Something is, and that controls your subconscious. That implants perspectives into your subconscious, and it then that creates your reality. If you are, I mean, it's just a trip who we are and how we're made. I feel like that has been the greatest gift I've given to myself is to understand how this reality really works. But I was
Yeah.
suffering so much. I was having, like, every relationship was hard. I couldn't make money. I just was deeply, like, I was under the thumb of Saturn is what I would say. I was under the thumb of Saturn. I was in a deep karmic cycle. And I just one day was like, please, what the fuck is going on? Like, I literally was like, I, something is not right. Like, I got to really, because I could feel so much power, but then I wouldn't be able to really access it. And the secret that I've learned is that learning how the universe works and then learning how the body works, because the
Mm-hmm.
two go together. And the more I study anatomy and human anatomy, like, here's how the manifestation process is going on in your body. The fact that you drink water and then it does something in your body, but at some point that water comes out. And there is a function that allows the water to go into your body. And then so that's, the if it's going in, that's the feminine, because the feminine takes in. But then if it's coming out, something has to happen in there that allows something to come out. That's the masculine. That's the creative
Mm-hmm.
process right there in your system. I took
Yeah.
something in, I put something out.
Mm-hmm.
Works on all levels.
Works on
Yeah.
all levels, right?
From
And so
darkness to light.
from
Yeah.
darkness to light, your pee, your urine, right? So and we're doing that when we eat food. And then I used to have dreams about being in the toilet going through my poop. And I really went to a dream interpreter and was like, why do I keep having these dreams? Like, I was like, what is going on? He was like, that's the creative process coming alive in your dreams. It's showing you how basic it is. If you put something in, you're going to put something out. I was like, wow, it's that simple.
Yeah, yeah. I remember I was taking this 90-day fast, and at first I was having the first month I was having like these craziest, like nightmarish type of dreams. And that's what made me realize, like, oh, okay, I got to go into these dreams, and like something spirit was telling me, like, you got to go into these dreams and start to control them. That's why you're having these nightmares, and you got to flush too. Like you're flushing your mind. So all these things have to come to the surface for you to face and resolve and take
Yes.
inventory in and look at it and interpret, and then go back into the dream world the next time with a different perspective. Because your dreams will tell you who you are too. Your dreams will tell you what you're really about. And those nightmares often are things that you need to face. Like it's so interesting that we go through this world without this knowledge. So we
Right.
think our nightmares are just nightmares, our dreams are just dreams, they have no relation to real life. But yet when we watch movies, we see these flashbacks, right? We see these dreams that these characters have that shape the whole narrative of the story. But they don't want us to think that way. They want us to think that that's demonic, that that's evil. But they'll put it in movies and screenplays to sell it to us. So
Of
yeah,
course, so they can
capitalism is
get
that.
you off track, so they can get you, to do
Mm-hmm.
their stuff, right? Like, imagine an entire world full of people who are awake and conscious and creative and
It's
magical. There
coming.
would be no
It's
need
coming.
for
It's
them.
coming. It's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming.
Yeah,
It's coming. It's coming. It's
yeah.
manifesting right now as we
That's
speak.
their greatest fear, because that means that they won't be in power,
They
and
will
they
have
can't
no.
make people.
They will be
Yeah,
the
they
host.
won't make people feel insecure,
Right.
because the whole thing is run on insecurity, feeling insecure, feeling like you're unworthy. That's what celebrity is really about. You know,
Mm,
making you feel like you're not them, you're not a star. You know, but we're all born stars. We're all
yeah.
born made of stardust. So there's not one of us that's not a star, literally here on the planet.
Yeah.
We resonate with black cosmic radiation. So we are all stars, but you have to reject society's programming that tells you not. And that's what this whole I am Aries energy is about. What are you, like Joseph Spencer has a book called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, and breaking the habit of being yourself is not about, uh, being totally different. But if you need to change, like what new vision and new actions are you going to really take and implement? And it's not about just talking it. You have to actually take actions and do something and make change. And only you know what that is. What will make your life better and what that looks like. But tomorrow you got a great window to do so. So I hope that we all take advantage of that, because it's time. And spirit needs us. The spirit world needs us. Our ancestors need us to carry these things on, and we can only do it with our hands and feet, not just our mouths and our magic.
Right.
We could touch with the spirit hand the spirit. We could touch what we can't, what doesn't need to be touched, by the physical hand. So very important for us to know who we truly are. Any last words, ladies?
Thank you.
Thank you
Right.
guys for having
Thank
me,
you.
for coming on and having me. I appreciate it. And with that said, tell them where they can find you, Mel.
DivineFeminineWorks.com, Divine Feminine Works on all platforms. I have a YouTube channel where I do weekly astro forecast, monthly astro forecast. Plus, I have a webinar coming up on how to read your natal chart going down on Wednesday. So check out my website so you can sign up for that.
Nice. The 10th, right? How to read
Yes.
your natal charts. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
2 days later. So get that information. Very important that you know your natal chart, and the way your planets are aspected and what it means, and looking at your Venus now and things like that. Like, take a look at that natal chart today if you can. Go to astro-seek.com and pull it up for free, or just look up free natal charts. You'll be able to find it easily. Mo, what you got for the people? Tell them where they can find you.
Yes, you can find me at healwithmoonmama.com. And you can find me on Instagram and Facebook and at MoniqueRuffin.com. And then on what's the TikTok? Moon Mama 639. That's where you can find me.
Excellent, excellent. And you can find me here. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that share button. I do appreciate you coming and spending your Sunday with me, or whatever day you will be watching this. Me and the Zodiac Queens appreciate your time and your
Yes,
viewership. Hold
Very
the
much.
powerful vision of yourself. Hold the most high vision of yourself today and tomorrow. Put that into practice. Anything you fear, let it go for today and tomorrow. Just let it go. Think of what could be. Don't think of the failure. Don't think of if it doesn't happen. Think of what if it does happen.
yes,
How would it look? How would it feel? You know, really play with that like you were a child with a toy, with a Barbie, or an action figure. Like really play it out. How would it look? How would it feel? Write it down. Draw it out. Think about it. Recite it. Affirm it. Draw it on your mirror. Put pictures up. Whatever you need to do. Right. Get prepared for this special day because it is a holy day. And
Mhm.
again, with that said, peace, power, and prosperity, y'all. We
Peace.
out.
Peace.